Hi guys, in today's video I want to share with you tips on how to make any recipe healthier. This will apply to 99.9% of the recipes. Like really a lot of these learnings you can hit the ground running. Very practical, realistic, really easy to grasp. On the screen you're going to find the chapters of the video. On my channel you're going to find healthy, practical, plant-based recipes, guided meditation recordings, and self-development, self-help kind of content, because I believe we should approach health in a holistic way. And if you want to eat healthier and live better, then you also have to work on the personal development and inner growth to really help you on this journey. So make sure to subscribe if this is the kind of content you're interested in. Let's get started. Before I share with you my 3 key tips, I want to talk about 2 things real quick. First one is expectations. When you modify any recipe, you're going to have to remember that 1, it can taste better. 2, if you make changes, it can taste better. If you make changes, it can taste the same. If you make changes, it can taste worse. Okay, so bear in mind that when you make changes, it could be for the better or for the worse, and you won't really know every single time. But with a time and experience, you're gonna really be able to gauge like where are the boundaries. Like if you're substituting sugar with like date syrup in this recipe, it should be fine because it's a protein ball. But if it's in a kind of a dessert, not so much. So you'll really be able to gauge with time how the taste is going to be affected, but you'll never always know, and you have to be okay with it. The whole idea is when you're deciding that you want to make your recipes healthier, you're doing it because you also realize that health is important. If you're watching this video, you're watching it because you want to eat healthier in a practical way while still being able to enjoy the foods that you enjoy. But health is a factor, and so that's why you're making changes. If health is not a factor, if you don't care to eat deep fried food and all that sort of stuff, then you can continue to eat the way you want to eat and continue to be as it is. But if you're watching this video, or if you want to make changes to a recipe, obviously health is a priority for you, which is amazing, and so therefore you have to keep an open mind in terms of like what will happen to the taste. You can't expect to change, like oven bake something like French fries. You can't expect oven baked to taste just like deep fried, but I can guarantee you it can taste still freaking amazing. I'm sorry, I oven bake or air fry my fries all the time and they taste really amazing. Okay, again, will I have a deep fried French fries and enjoy it? Absolutely. Do I have it on occasion? Yes. But does that mean I still can't enjoy my French fries if they're, you know, like cooked cleaner? That's not true. Like it might be better for some people. They'll tell you I can't eat deep fried French fries because I actually feel unwell after. Like I actually don't enjoy the grease. So it's really, you know, like for some it's a personal preference, but also like just keep in mind that yeah, you might modify some recipes and they may not taste great, and that's fine, and you don't have to, you know that, and you don't have to have that recipe anymore. But there's so many really I am a recipe developer. I literally create recipes like every single day, and I still have flops, but I have so many successes. Like I will never forget the first time that I made healthy cupcakes that are fluffy and that are naturally sweetened, oil-free, gluten-free. Not that I am personally gluten-free, but yani for people that want that option. And it wasn't using all-purpose flour, it was using really good, clean ingredient like oat flour. Honestly, like I can't tell you how emotional I got, because then and there I proved to myself that it is possible to eat cleaner and really still enjoy it. And I think that's what's important. I think eating healthier does not mean that it tastes bad, which this leads me on to this point, which is the mindset. When you start eating cleaner and you occasionally eat the junk food, you might enjoy it, but sometimes you actually don't, because you actually feel like crap after, or like it doesn't taste the same as you used to remember it when you used to enjoy it. When you see a lot of like junk food or unhealthy stuff and you start to eat cleaner, you have it, sometimes it's not the same. It's not like before. Sometimes you will enjoy it, and absolutely I even do till today, but it's not like before. Your taste buds change. You have to keep an open mind to believe that you can have an acai bowl and like you can crave a salad, like a really mean ass salad that's made with like really good ingredients and awesome dressing. If you then eat healthier and you hate the food and you don't enjoy it and you think doesn't taste good, it's okay. Even if you know it doesn't taste the same, but you actually don't think it's good and you hate it, you're most likely not going to be able to sustain it long term. So I'm going to share with you the tips as well if you're feeling that way, like where in the amendments you can make, what changes you can make that will not make you feel that way. Okay, so I'm going to give you really practical tips that I hope you're going to enjoy and really benefit from. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is when you're looking at any recipe, if it's a staple recipe that you absolutely love or a new recipe that you're looking at, I just want you to first look at the ingredient list. Look at the ingredient list and identify what are healthy ingredients and what are not healthy ingredients. Ideally, you want to, if you want to eat healthier, you want to look at ingredients that are like whole foods, that are complete, that are not highly processed, ultra processed ingredients packaged. We know that cold cuts are not healthy. Like, this is the recommendation by the World Health Organization. It's a type 1A carcinogen, for God's sake. Like, so I'm not saying like whether you eat it or not eat it is your personal choice. That's something for you, you know, like that's between you and your choices. But the idea is like, is this really the only thing that's there? Like, can you not substitute it with something else? Like, if you're not plant-based, can you not substitute that with like, you know, grilled chicken or like grilled fish? Like, in that specific, like, are there things that you can substitute? Just take some of those ingredients and substitute it with. Or if you're looking at like all-purpose flour in a recipe, it's processed flour. Is there an alternative flour that I can use for this recipe that will give me the same or similar kind of result? I have done this in a lot of recipes, from savory to sweet to baked goods. Obviously that, you know, each category has different requirements, or like there's a lot more room to make changes. Like with baking, obviously you got to be careful because there's certain things you can totally substitute, but then sometimes you can substitute, but then the ratios need to be adjusted accordingly, and we'll get into that a bit later in the video. But my point is, look at your ingredient list. Is the recipe calling for half a cup of oil? Can you make it oil-free? Can you, and you can, by the way, you're like, how do you go from half a cup of oil? You know, you can go from deep fried and you can go to like, you know, oven baked. Like, there are many recipes that you can do that with. So is it possible? In many cases, yes, it's absolutely possible. It's like, you don't have to go all or nothing as well. Like, if it's calling for half a cup of oil, can you reduce it? Can you use a tablespoon? Can you use 2 tablespoons instead? Immediately you have made a change with either swapping out the ingredients or changing the ratios of certain ingredients. Okay, we know that oil is the #1 highest caloric ingredient in the world, right? So if I'm somebody who wants to lose weight, for example, then I need to make sure that I am using oil very mindfully, because it can completely sabotage my weight loss journey, because it's super high in calories, and therefore an extra 1 or 2 tablespoons in a day will make a difference. You know, could be maintaining my weight or reducing my weight, etc. Look at an ingredient list. Like, if it's using, what's it using? It's using refined sugar. What alternative can you use? Can you use dates instead? There's so many dessert recipes that have used dates instead, or bananas, or date syrup, or pure maple syrup. Like, there are, you know, like honey, like there are other things that are healthier. And again, I want to mention that it's a range. Like, you've got, for example, the ideal, whole food, healthy, and you've got the unhealthy, the ultra processed, and everything else in between. So you'll be surprised how much you can add to make recipe healthier, remove, completely take out, like as an ingredient altogether, or just substitute or adjust the ratios. So just to give you a few examples, if you have something that has all-purpose flour, maybe you can use oat flour instead. Not everything is like for like all the time, but you'll be surprised how much these simple substitutes can work. With just like a little bit of quick check online, you'll have the answers. And sometimes it'll ask you to adjust ratios. If you want to reduce your salt intake, then what else can you add? Like salt, you're adding salt because it's giving you flavor. So if you want to reduce your salt and you have high blood pressure, or you want to live healthier and want to prevent any of these things happening, so some of the things that are known to add flavor without the salt, even if you're still using some salt, but you're working on reducing the amounts that you use in your food, then, you know, adding like lemon and lime, like making it sour, more sour, adding spice, so like chili flakes or like hot sauce, looking at alternative ingredients that add flavor to mask that desire for more salt, for that specific taste. And also, for example, substituting oil for nut butters. Like, I do that all the time with my baking. Like, I'm not saying it works in every recipe, but my God, it works in so many recipes. Using almond butter instead of oil. Now, in terms of calories, oil is still higher, but nut butters are also known to be high in calories, but they've got also a lot of nutritional benefits. You have to see what works for you. Some people, for example, can easily substitute with the sugar. They'll happily substitute it for a healthier alternative. It's an easy fix. For others, you know, maybe oil is something they're happily reduced because they still want to be able to eat all these different kind of ingredients, healthy and unhealthy, let's say. So you really also have to like see what is an easy fix for you, and kind of like tackle that hard, and then like start to like adjust, and your taste buds will start to improve, and all the other choices, health options, which you today find very difficult, will start to become easier and easier with time. And another thing I want to say is that also any recipe that you currently like or want to learn about, like, or want a new recipe or you already love, but you know it's not the healthiest, literally just go on Google, just Google healthy X, the name, like healthy pancakes or dairy-free pancakes, oil-free pancakes, plant-based pancake. Like there are endless amount of recipes and variations of the recipes that you love that have been tested, tried and tested for the most part, that you're most likely gonna like. And if you didn't like it, you can find a different version of it that's out there that has done it differently that you might like. So literally just use Google or ChatGPT to like spit out variations of you. You can go on ChatGPT and literally put in the recipe that you absolutely love making today and say, how can I make it healthier? Write a oil-free version, a dairy-free version, make it healthier, whatever, like, and give it specific prompts on how you want to make it healthier, and you've already got yourself something to work with. So it's just about wanting to make it healthier, and like the answers will really start to come up quite easily. Second up is cooking method. Oh my God, like it's all about the cooking method. Like not all about it, but an important aspect of it is the cooking method. Like if you are deep frying something or your things are drenched in it, like you can use an oven, you can use an air fryer, you can pan sear instead of deep fry. There's so many things that you can do to make it healthier. I think people underestimate the cooking method that is being used. Third up is balance and caution. What do I mean by this? I think it's important to, if you're just starting out, you need to see your threshold for eating cleaner. Like I have a big threshold. Like I would have dark chocolate and like, you know, my husband would take a bite and be like, my God, what is this? Like, how are you even eating this? It's so not enjoyable. It doesn't taste good. But for me, because I have changed the way I eat significantly, by no means do I eat perfectly. Of course, I have treats and junk food sometimes and unhealthy snacks on occasions, but fundamentally I have changed the way I eat for the better. So a lot of things like my taste buds change. So I have a tolerance, a bigger threshold for what I consider a good recipe. If you're starting out, like if you're looking at a recipe, if you modify so many elements of it, you might not like it at all, and then that might turn you off and think like, oh, eating healthy, like that's why it doesn't taste good, that's why, and like you completely give up. You really have to be realistic with like tackle one thing at a time. Like if it's something that's deep fried, find an oven baked or air fried version of it and use the same ingredients as you usually would. If you like that, great. Maybe next time try to make it oven baked or air fried, but then now start tackling some of the ingredients, some of the ingredients to use a different substitute, like, and then see how that tastes for you and go from there. Also, sometimes, I promise you, I've done recipes that make healthier versions and I swear to God, they taste even better than the original, which is like unhealthy and doesn't taste as good. So you will have so many success stories, but there you're gonna also have some failed recipes, and that's okay. I think not giving up, like, and also just maybe tackling it step by step. Like you're not gonna do it all at once. Like maybe you don't wanna have to go all in and then just hate the process and think, oh, healthy eating is crap, like it doesn't taste good, it's just awful, and you give up. Like what good is that then? Just always remember, like this is the long-term game. You are not in this for quick fixes. Quick fixes will not work. You might experience a certain result, or like you've lost a kilo or whatever, like in a short span of time, but then if you will grow to resent it if you're not being patient. Like you have to remember, you want to win long term. You don't want to just win quickly and then give up or hate it or not sustain it. So approach it with caution. I am very risk-taking. I will go and change a lot of the ingredients. Like I literally have an amazing recipe, and if you want it, really comment below and I'll send it myself personally to you. I'll email it to you, I'll send it to you. When I made the cupcake recipe, which I mentioned earlier on in the video, I managed to swap out all-purpose flour with oat flour. I swapped oil for nut butter, and I sweetened it with dates and banana, so naturally sweetened. Muffins, and I added like chocolate chips and whatever. I swear to you, like it's fluffy, the texture is beautiful, the taste is lovely, the kids love it, which is always a good way to gauge. And my husband, who's very like particular about his food, like doesn't love at all healthy kind of food, so he's very, you know, like he doesn't even like some of the stuff I enjoy. Like he'll still say like, no, I still wouldn't eat that, and he loves it. And my point to you is, when you manage to take something that's baked, it's not even like a savory dish, it's not like a stew that you've made some changes to, you're taking a baked recipe, which also like the ratios and stuff, and you've made it this really good cupcake recipe that you and your kids can enjoy. Like this is not about telling yourself or your children, oh, for you to eat healthy, it means you need to eat a banana or an apple, like that's healthy. Like yes, they are healthy, but we're all don't want to only eat that. We also want to eat cookies, and we want to eat muffins, and we want to eat cake, and we want to eat ice cream and popsicles and all of that. We just want to have them cleaner. Like that's what we want. Don't substitute a cupcake for an apple. Like It's not the same. It is not the same. You will be so surprised like how rewarding it is when I manage to improve and like get that, land on that recipe. And I, with my channel, like really try to save you a lot of time and effort and energy. And again, you can just Google things and research, and Pinterest and YouTube and ChatGPT and everything. There's so many resources out there for you to really help get to the end goal much faster. It doesn't mean that you have to sit and spend hours experimenting in the kitchen. You can if you enjoy it, and you will start to shock yourself at how you will start to test out different recipes. When you start using cleaner recipes, you're gonna start like, why am I even using this ingredient in my other recipes? Like in this recipe, I don't use it and it tastes amazing. Like, can I start to make this other stew recipe that I make better, or soup, like salad? Like if it's working with this, why can't I make it work there too? So what I mean by all of this is that I think just really like believe that it's possible and move at the pace that makes sense for you, because you want to do this long term. And I really wish you the best of luck on your journey, because you can do it. If you know, don't sell yourself short. Think that if you have the desire, if you have that interest, that's all you need to get started. Like you can do this. Remember, cooking method and swapping out different ingredients. And if there's certain like staple ingredients, just make a list of like, and start getting familiar with those staple ingredients and healthier substitutes. And you don't have to have the answer for all of it. You can start with like the weekly muffin recipe that you do every week, or like that weekly dessert that you make. Like how can you make that one a bit healthier, or look up a healthier version of that recipe, and that's when the ball starts rolling. Good luck on your journey. I hope you enjoyed this video. I have so many other videos about like weight loss for beginners, my top tips, healthy eating for beginners, my like fundamentals. I have other self-development content and self-help content about personal growth, and quick and healthy plant-based recipe videos and guided meditation recordings, because I really believe that we should approach our health in a holistic way. And for you to eat healthier, you also want to feel better about yourself internally. Like for you to also achieve that goal, hand in hand comes everything else. Because if your mindset is in the right place, if you're feeling good about yourself, or you're trying to feel better about yourself, then it will translate into your healthy eating. It will translate into all other aspects of your life, from relationships to careers to everything. So I do believe everything is linked. If you like this, then please make sure to subscribe. It really helps me continue to do what I'm doing, and always get you better quality content. So see you in the next video.